Hey guys, so for our mobility video this week, we're continuing with our crossover symmetry series. So today we're going to go into more of a strengthening through rotation component. This exercise, I want to make sure that you guys understand that if you have some restriction or you're having some trouble getting into this external rotation position, think like front rack, you have to get into this external rotation and flexion position. If you're having trouble getting into this position, sometimes this strengthening exercise is too aggressive and you need to take it down a couple of notches before you get there. Because if you're going into a bad position, then you're just strengthening in a bad movement pattern, and that's not where you want to be. Okay, so the exercise I'm going to do, I'm going to use one of the crossover symmetry. You can use two at the same time, but it's way more demanding, and I want you to make sure that you get into the proper positions with one before you start adding both, because that's the stepwise progression, okay? So what you're going to do, you're going to come in, set your shoulder blade back like we were talking about last time. You're going to come into this retraction position, and then you're going to come up into external rotation, down and back. A lot of the things that I see are athletes either losing their position and just kind of like seesawing through their ribs. So you want to make sure you're set here. You're coming up into this position. Notice my shoulder does not dump forward. I do not hyperextend through my back. I maintain a rigid core. My shoulder stays braced against my ribs, and I come into this position, down and forward. I'm going slowly through this movement position because your rotator cuff musculature and the muscles around your shoulder blade, they're endurance muscles, they're postural muscles. So you don't need to crank through this really fast to try and get the most like burn or pump, because that's not the point of these type of exercises. It's to start strengthening in strong functional movement patterns. So I really recommend that you guys use one only at first and then move to both when you're doing this in strong positions. Okay, so a couple sets of 10 as part of your warm-up if you can get there. If you're having restriction getting into this external rotation position, start doing mobility work to get this position first before you start strengthening through range. That's our mobility video for this week. Check out the blog, www.elementcrossfit.com/blog, and we'll see you next week.